Dark day today. The Vaccine Advisory Committee, handpicked by R.F. Kennedy Jr., did exactly what everyone worried about when the anti-vaxxer was first named health secretary. The panel voted to end the CDC's decades-long recommendation of a vaccine, one that has been safely administered for more than 30 years and has caused, listen to this number, a 99% drop in cases of kids and teens catching a potentially fatal disease. It's the hepatitis B vaccine for newborns. It's something that's so successful, so uncontroversial, so obviously good, that even in, say, deep red Louisiana, it was a hit. In fact, in January, a former Louisiana liver doctor named Bill Cassidy bragged to RFK about his own success administering the shot to his community after treating a teenage Hep B patient who needed a liver transplant to survive.
It was the worst day of my medical career because I thought $50 of vaccines could have prevented this all. Since then, I've tried to do everything I can to make sure I never have to speak to another parent about their child dying due to a vaccine-preventable disease. So I worked with community and business leaders. We vaccinated 36,000 children for hepatitis B.
Today, under the guy that Cassidy voted for as health secretary, this panel of anti-vaxxers blew it all up. And so that horrible moment that Senator Bill Cassidy had, we're going to see a lot more of them. We are likely to see a lot more kids and teens infected with hepatitis B now because of it. Brandy Zadrozny is an MS Now senior reporter who's been covering RFK Jr. and the anti-vax movement for years, and she joins me now. So first, just to sort of set where we are, what is this panel that met today?
This panel is called ACIP. It has been around for decades, and it advises the CDC on what vaccines we should recommend for children. It's usually made up of experts. It has been forever, but over the summer, RFK fired all of those experts and put on his group of anti-vaxxers with a couple of experts who are actual experts sprinkled in because they had been sort of COVID skeptics. So they were allowed on the panel. Thank God they are, because they were the lone voices of dissent on this vote. Yeah.
So like one of them, just to give an example, a guy named Kirk Milhoan, I want to just play for him talking about coronavirus to get a little flavor of the guy's thinking. This is Kirk Milhoan.
Coronavirus is a bioterror weapon that was created really by the U.S. in North Carolina. And then it was shipped over to Wuhan for further gain-of-function research.
So just a little sort of window into the worldview. Like, these are, by and large, kind of anti-vax folks. What do you think?
Yeah, some of them are hardcore anti-vaxxers, like Vicky Peps. I'm blanking on her name, yeah. Vicky. She is a nurse and has been working with an anti-vaccine organization, including RFK's longtime group, for decades. And then there are some sort of who got in via COVID. This guy that you just played, Kirk Milhoan, he was a pastor, he was a pediatric cardiologist, and he was among the handful of doctors, the sort of merchants of doubt that came up around the COVID time that wore white coats and sold you stuff like ivermectin and hydrochloroquine. He was one of those guys. And you can see from that tape just how extreme he's gotten.
There was some pushback at this decision, which, again, we should just say is like completely opposed by every mainstream medical body. Is that fair to say?
Yes, every single one. I mean, the American Academy of Pediatrics won't even come to the meetings anymore. It's been quite something to see. Again, I've watched these meetings for so long, for decades. I've seen these meetings happen, and they're so boring. And to see the nature of how they've devolved now into really what is a circus, sort of led and by RFK, it's just such a strange thing to think about.
Yeah, here's just one doctor, Dr. Meisner, giving his response to one of the presentations that was, casting doubt on the safety or efficacy of the vaccine. Here's what he had to say.
I don't know quite how to respond to this presentation. What you have said is a terrible, terrible distortion of all the facts. You're a very effective lawyer, no question. You're very smooth. You know how to present the facts that are favorable to you or to your client. That's your responsibility. That's what you're paid, and I suspect very handsomely, I suspect that's what you're paid to do, to sue people. But for you to come here and make these absolutely outrageous statements about safety, I think it's a big disappointment to me, and I don't think you should have been invited. I will be completely honest.
So you can hear the sorrow and rage in his voice.
Yeah, I mean, and let's just talk about why he was saying that, because the person who had just spoken for nearly 2 hours of time, which is a lifetime, to put it in perspective, there were doctors there and CDC scientists that when they tried to speak, they were cut off after 2 minutes. And the head of this panel today, Dr. Malone, who's again, he thinks the CIA made COVID and all of that. He yelled at them and told them to basically shut up. But this guy that was just talking, Aaron Siri, he was commenting on Aaron Siri being able to talk for some 2 hours. Aaron Siri is an anti-vaccine lawyer. He's a longtime friend of RFK Jr. He is the reason that West Virginia and Mississippi have weakened mandate laws there for childhood vaccines. We could have, these are such a cast of characters. And the fact that they all were congregating today at this meeting.
This is the culmination.
It's such a failure of public health, and it really, really shows the depth and the breadth of what RFK has done to public health.
So they voted to rescind this recommendation.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean that no one will get the hepatitis B shot, right? What does it mean functionally?
Well, we can't know for sure. Here's what we know for sure. We know that insurance companies have said, this is a crank panel, and we're not listening to anything they say.
They've already
Don't
written
worry.
them off.
Yeah,
This is a
because they don't
circus.
want everybody to panic. They say, we're gonna adopt the rules that were before this crazy clown panel came up. So that's fine. One of the problems is that around 50% of the children in this country are eligible for something called the Vaccines for Children program. It is a brilliant federal program that we started in the 80s that really helped us bridge those gaps between access, because a lot of the times the holes in people in coverage for vaccines are people who couldn't get them, who wanted vaccines. And so this closed that gap. The problem with this, and the group voted on it today, is that the Vaccine for Children's program, what Congress allocates for us to buy, the federal government to buy, and to put in those arms, those have to adhere to these recommendations. So what that's going to look like,
Wait, so that can mean that
yet.
the 50% of Americans who are some of the poorest and most marginalized or outside of the health system, those could maybe start not getting the hepatitis B shot?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is something that can happen.
There's going to be many children who will die, right? I don't think that's a...
I mean, we're seeing it right now with measles spreading. We're seeing outbreaks of measles. We've seen children die, and we've seen...
For no reason.
No reason. But when that happens, you have what happened when those kids died of measles. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. flew down on a plane, comforted those parents, and internally said those kids didn't die from measles, and had his nonprofit go there and deny it too. It's going to be really bad. It's going to be actually really bad. And like you said, who it's going to be bad for is children.
I find it almost unspeakably upsetting, I have to say.
Me too.
I just don't know what to say. I will just read what Bill Cassidy said, who should lie awake at every night just completely eaten alive by his conscience if he has one. He says, as a liver doctor who's treated patients with hepatitis B for decades, this change of the vaccine schedule is a mistake. The hepatitis B vaccine is safe and effective. The birth dose is a recommendation, not a mandate. Before the birth dose was recommended, 20,000 newborns a year were infected with hepatitis B. Now it's fewer than 20. Ending the recommendation for newborns will make it more likely the number of cases will begin to increase again. It makes America sicker, and of course, it will be mostly the poorest children in America who will suffer from the effects of this. Really, really dark day. Mm-hmm. All right, Brandon Zadrozny, thank you for being here for that brutally enraging report.